This is Chris Payne from Euclid, Ohio, and you are listening to Barbecue Central.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh, should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Welcome to the Barbecue Central Show, the show where we talk about all things that are important in the world of barbecue. From big-name interviews with competitors on the barbecue circuit, grill manufacturers and pit makers, to advice on cooking brisket and ribs. You'll find it all right here on the Barbecue Central Show. Your host, Greg Rempe, is a backyard barbecue and grilling fanatic and loves to talk about his passion, which many of us share together. You can learn more about barbecue and grilling by visiting the website, thebbqcentral.com. Now, let's get in the smoke. Here's your program host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, gang, welcome to another edition of the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. Oh, yeah, we broadcast live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. It's rapidly becoming known as the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I guess in some regions of the country has been well established as the barbecue capital of the North Coast, but that's neither here nor there. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Let me give you some contact information in case you want to jump in on the show tonight. 877-448-0433. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com is the email address. So those are the things in regards to communication you're going to want to keep in mind. Here's what's happening on the show in case you missed the newsletter this morning. And by this morning, I mean 4 o'clock this afternoon. 14 past the hour, which is about 12 minutes from now, Robert McGee from Munchin' Hogs at the Hilton. Current KCBS Team of the Year for 2011 will be joining us. Been chasing Robert for a number of months. He's been very busy. But we found time before the KCBS yearly meeting where he officially gets indoctrinated into KCBS Team of the Year ship, which I believe is incorrect English. So look for Robert McGee coming up shortly. And then in the second hour, Scott Roberts, a monthly contributor to the show, will be joining us to talk about the best of 2011 when it comes to sauce and rub. So there you go, 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, email address and phone number, respectively. Maybe you were wondering. You're damn right. Back in the studio, it's DoRag!
Oh, yeah, baby.
Billy.
What's kicking, chicken?
Well, let me say that the studios, young William, have been longing for the DoRag to come back, to sit in studio for a whole 2 hours and talk about, whatever it is. Sorry, this is the one thing that I knew they were going to talk about. There's no camera, too.
Freak stuff out of here.
I guess you're going to have to take my word for it. Hold on a second. Let me do this. Let me grab the camera. And there he is. See? It's DoRag, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah!
Hi, Mom.
He's got the computer right there. We got our Skype computer. This is my thing right here. So there you go. I was wondering how many people were actually going to go ahead and, give me crap that I actually don't have any guests and somehow you're magically piped in through the wiles of the internet. But
I'm here in the flesh.
So as someone who was in here, it's probably a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit more than that, and now you're back in the very beginnings of 2012, what have you noticed that has changed in regards to the Barbecue Central Radio Network compound?
You got hair on your face. What's that about?
That's the biggest thing that you know of, that you're noticing? It's a lot of hair.
Yeah. Scary.
Yeah, I mean, you can pull it now. It's the kids look at me like
your hair, man.
I can keep food and drink and pencils in it. I mean, you never know what's going to happen, right? Look at this. Phil White joining in right here. Hey, Billy, did you bring some apple pie? Yeah, it's right here.
I go nowhere without the pie. Nice.
It's the cinnamon, really, that kind of brings it all together.
Yeah, I can't say cinnamon.
And being a stand-up guy like yourself and a professional cook, you know how to blend those flavor profiles together, whether it be proteins or whether it be liquor.
I don't blend any proteins, Greg. I'll leave that to the other kind.
All right. Well, let me get to this. This is very important, and I was supposed to make mention of this last week, but I completely forgot. There's a guy out there by the name of Stan Hayes who also works in conjunction with Jeff Stiff for Operation Barbecue Relief. Are you familiar with this, Billy?
I am.
All right.
I read about it.
So first he wanted to tell me there's a couple fundraisers going on. So Central Lights Operation Barbecue Relief is helping people that are suffering through national disasters. You remember last year when all those tornadoes ripped through Joplin. Stan and Jeff and a whole bunch of other cookers were out there providing meals for people that had been displaced. And it was really, if you go back and listen to the 2011 show on review, it was an absolute brilliant and charitable thing that they were doing. So let me first tell you that there are fundraisers going on for this. And the first one is they're doing a backyard barbecue raffle for about 30 people. It's good anywhere in the United States, only costs $20 for a ticket. And they'll give away 3 of the backyard barbecue raffles. They'll give them away. You could really use more tickets sold to help fundraisers, so this is why I wanted to go ahead and mention it here on the show. So if anybody's listening and you want to help a great cause and you want the potential of getting your own barbecue backyard barbecue anywhere in the country, then you want to go to this email address or to this website, operationbbqrelief.org, and then you want to do a /partyflyer.html. I will go ahead and link that up here shortly. operationbbqrelief.org/partyflyer.html. And the other fundraiser was actually coming up in a couple days. It's local to Kansas City. It is a Texas Hold'em tournament, and they could use a few more sponsors for the event. So if you're interested, you got last-minute things that you can do, go ahead and do that. And whoever is interested in promoting their stuff, or they want to go ahead and become some type of a table sponsor or just a money donation sponsor, both Stan and Jeff would be absolutely thankful for having you jump in, especially since it's kind of last minute. That website itself, operationbbqrelief.org, and this one is /pokersponsor.html, pokersponsor.html. And of course, founders memberships available at operationbbqrelief.org. So I want to thank Jeff and Stan for passing this along to me. And again, I apologize. Stan linking it up right there in the chat room. So go ahead and take advantage of that. operationbbqrelief.org/partyflyer and operationbbqrelief.org/pokersponsor. And this is an organization, Billy, that, we talk a lot about drama that's going on in competition barbecue and what constitute real barbecue and grilling, and are they separate, and we mingle and mangle and argue about senseless horseshit when it comes to this industry. And here's an organization that is actually going out and kind of keeping the vision of what barbecue is really about, and getting out there helping others, especially when they're in need.
I like it.
Yeah, it's absolutely a fantastic organization. OperationBBQRelief.org. If that's something you want to join, absolutely. Go ahead and take advantage of that. All right, Billy, I can tell you are slim, you are trim, so you have some Beards for Barbecue update. I'm going to go ahead and give you mine. As of today, logged in 15 miles of running for the week.
Nice.
The beard is getting better. The miles are getting longer. And I really actually don't have any weight to lose, but my thought is to get the heart healthy, because there's some heart issues in the family and the lineage. So while I am, let's say, a sexy, slender man, the heart probably isn't in that great of shape.
You are sexy.
And you've seen, well, thank you. And you've seen, what I have to contend with. I have wives, and I almost said wives. I have a wife. I have kids.
You do.
And evidently they would like me to stick around. So one has to do their part when they're on the short end of the genetical stick.
They're all wearing do-rags, too.
That's right. Absolutely. Talking to the microphone. And I have a new one. Did anybody make mention of my awesome new do-rag yet in the chat room? This was the old one. You remember this one, the Flames, which is now almost 2 years old. Now I have the All-American do-rag, which I'll be donning now here for some time.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. I appreciate you coming in and bringing gifts. I mean, not so much the do-rags, but I do appreciate mostly the apple pie.
Well, I am from the South, and we know how to be hospitable.
How does one make apple pie?
Get you some apple juice, some apple cider, some sugar, and throw some other stuff in.
For instance, are you using corn or potatoes, or how do you get the liquor part of it?
Well, I can't really say that.
Well, it's the internet. There's porno on the internet.
Oh, where?
So, evidently, it's all over. I've never seen it.
We use some homemade liquor.
All right. Well, I'll take that. Evidently, maybe a little later in the show, you'll be a little bit more forthcoming for the people that are in the South that also want to try their hand at making apple pie and moonshine and the like.
Sounds good.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Billy DoRag Carroll is in the house tonight in Barbecue Central Radio Network studios. But first, I want to quickly remind you about Draper's Barbecue. They are a third-generation barbecue company located in western Kentucky in between Memphis and Kansas City. Shane wanted to create a line of products that represented both cities as well as the flavor profiles of his home. Draper's Smokin' Sauce is a savory with a touch of sweetness, tangy with some heat. You like heat.
I love heat.
Absolutely. And it's a balanced yet complex blend of spices, and it's just at home on the competition trails, grilling in your backyard. Smokin' Sauce has brought home several trophies this past year on ribs and chicken, and it's on the front lines in the battle against overly sweet flavor profiles, which I hate. What, do you hate that?
I should try that,
Yeah, absolutely.
I need that. I need some help.
Draper's Barbecue also has a fantastically versatile rub, Billy, known simply as AP Rub.
AP?
Do you know what it stands for?
All purpose.
Absolutely. It's a great flavor enhancer on any protein, but it can be used on popcorn, French fries, salads, onion rings, soups, chowders, Chex Mixed, baked potatoes. The list goes on. Basically, your imagination is its only limitation. AP's rub of savory, salty, sweet, all of these things that make a great rub, right? It's great on virtually anything. Now, look.
What if you could put it on some Bengal Tiger?
Let me tell you something. You could probably put one on a Bengal Tiger, one on a Lion, but if you use Smokin' Sauce and AP Rub on the Tiger itself, this is when they really shine and when it's together. The dovetail of two flavor profiles make it completely different. An even more complex profile that will keep the judges thinking about your entry long after you've put it down and will make you come back for second and third bites. The mix of the two has a designed roller coaster effect on the palate that swings the taster through all parts of their taste buds. Now, look, you can find Draper's Barbecue at 3 different places on the internet. DrapersBBQ.com. The creators of the Bacon Explosion, BBQaddicts.com, and BBQProShop.com. All trusted Draper's resources. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Shane always available to help questions in regards to flavor profiles from other competitors. If you have a local store that you'd like Draper products in, send Shane an email at info@drapersbbq.com. Always looking to add new stores and new markets. And your tip could lead you to earning some free swag as well.
I like swag.
Draper's Barbecue, when they say 3 generations of pride in a bottle, they mean it.
1, 2, 3.
And we are coming back with Robert McGee of Munchin' Hogs at the Hilton. Right after this, it is Greg Rempe. It is Billy DoRag Carroll, and you are listening to the Barbecue Central radio show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Networks.
Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Beat it, just beat it. Mike Davis says to tell Greg hello.
We are back, 14 past the hour. DoRag is in tonight as well. Let's go ahead and race over the hotline. Joining me now, soon to be officially crowned 2011 KCBS Team of the Year. Since 2008, which happens to be the last time he won the same honor, his team has not finished outside the top 10 in the overall standing, which obviously shows how consistent the team is. So we go ahead. Welcome back to the show, Robert McGee of Munchin' Hogs at the Hilton. Robert, how are you, bud?
Great. How you doing today, Greg?
Doing absolutely fabulous. Robert, we also have Billy DoRag Carroll in the studios. I have no idea why he's in Cleveland, but he decided to stop by the studios and hang out, so he wanted to welcome you in as well.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I think I need one of those do-rags I just saw Greg wearing.
We can hook you up. I just need some brisket secrets.
Well, hey, do-rags, brisket secrets. I mean, we're making all kinds of deals here right at the top of the show. All right, so Robert, if you could, kind of conveniently and as concise as possible, can you give us kind of a review of the past year, that being 2011, and how it went for you and the team?
Wow, it was a great year. We went out to take some of the larger contests, and we started with one goal was to win really large contests, and next thing you know, we were after to make the Jack Daniels, and then Team of the Year came in to fruition. So we just one goal after another, just kept going for each and every one, and here we are. We ended up with number one team in the nation.
How many events did you actually get into last year, Robert?
I think it was about 35, give or take one or two.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot of events, right?
It is a lot of events. Yeah, I think we did 3 doubles in it. So, there's a lot of hats off to my wife for dealing with me gone that many weekends with 4 kids.
So I guess one of the things that comes up to me as somebody who's not necessarily in the competition scene, but I'm talking to pitmasters each and every week, and everybody's got a different family situation going on. Do you have you're still the chef over at the Hilton, Robert?
I am. I'm the executive chef and food and beverage at the Hilton Hotel here in Kansas City.
And are they pretty amenable to you getting off on the weekends? I would imagine during the hotel a weekend has got to be kind of a busy time, right?
It's a great marketing thing. Both the Hilton and myself, joint efforts to do the best we can to position our hotel in food and beverage, and barbecue being one of the most prestigious cuisines here in Kansas City. I've taken that to new heights and brought a lot of business back to the hotel. So, yeah, they're very supportive, 100%, and boy, I couldn't ask for anything better.
Robert McGee from Munchin' Hogs at the Hilton joining us here on the show. All right, Robert, so as you gear up for the new year, do you sit down, you plan out all the contests that you would like to do, or do you find yourself kind of dropping in a certain amount of contests during the course of the year as well?
I really like to map out what I want to do. There's a couple things hold me up from this year going forward, but usually I like to plan at least 4 months out and send out all my entries to make sure I know which way I'm going.
Now, you kind of mentioned it off the top here, and maybe it's a stupid question to ask, but I'll do it anyway because I'm not that smart. Do you go in every year looking to win Team of the Year? Is there some other mindset when a new competition season starts, and as you see the season evolving and you're like, hey, you know what, I got a shot at this thing, we're going to go ahead and make a run at it? Or is that pretty much the mindset right at the top?
It wasn't last year. When we first went out, me and my teammate Sean Lycombe, the first thing we thought is let's go to all the big contests and see if we can win some of this money on top. We ended up going out and we did a really good job winning a couple of the big prizes. And, next thing came up that, hey, we got a shot to go back to the Jack Daniels. So let's go ahead and see if we can win 6, before the deadline. And then, we hit that, and then we said, wow, we actually have a chance to shoot for Team of the Year. So, one fell right into the other. And, when you first start off, there's a lot of testing out there to see what the market wants. So, things change as you go throughout the year, and hopefully you make the right decisions.
Robert McGee from Munchin' Hogs at the Hilton joining us here on the show. Robert, you were 7th overall in 2010. Is there anything specifically that you did in between competition seasons that got you over the hump this past year?
There's no doubt about it. We have done process improvement on everything that we do. If we felt that there was a category that wasn't pulling its weight for us to win an overall, we would hone in on it and change it, whether we went more with savory, versus sweet. We found out by the end of the year, I mean, it should be no surprise to anybody, but for everybody who needs to know, I really thought that everybody stepped away from candy barbecue to really more of a savory barbecue. So that really helped out us going through 2011.
All right, so let's go ahead real quick, Robert, if we can, and kind of just go through the category results overall. Chicken, you were 7th overall. I hear from a lot of pitmasters that chicken is always the Achilles heel over the evolution of a competition season, but 7th obviously is showing that it was fairly consistent. Were you pretty happy with the results overall?
I was. Towards the end of the year, I did much better. That's where I made my change up. You got to try different things. Throughout the year, we tried everything. I mean, you name it, that part of the chicken ended up in my box. So, hopefully we've got a winning combination going to 2012. So, I'm really happy with what we did in chicken overall.
Do you see a process of chicken thighs still being the favorite of being turned in on boxes? If so, do you ever see a point where that might get steered away from?
There's no doubt about it. I think chicken legs has got a huge influence to the judges. I also think chicken breast, if you cook it right. I also see combination boxes of chicken, which puts a little edge on everybody.
All right, so let's look at ribs. 4th overall, I mean, out of how many thousands of teams, absolutely spectacular. Is there anything that you had done differently from the year previous to 2011 to get you 4th overall in ribs? That's spectacular.
You know what? That's about the one category I steered straight. That I left for the last 3 years. I've tried to stay the path. The only thing I did was step away from a little bit less sweetness with the way I was handed it in, and it really paid off.
All right, pork 15. So I guess if we're looking at all 4, you have 3 that are in the top 10. Pork is 15. So I guess we could say that's your worst category. But geez, I'm sure there's any number of teams that would take a 15th overall during the season. What do you like about the pork? What do you think you might need to change to bump that up even a little bit?
I think I need to go back to school and figure out what pork's all about. I mean, we tried so many different things. I mean, you name it, we tried it. Matter of fact, my last competition, I went all the way out to Cummings, Georgia, just to experiment on pork, and I put a spicy peach vinegar barbecue sauce, and that still didn't work. So I haven't figured out pork, so the day somebody can teach me that, I'll be very grateful.
Would you ever take a competition cooking class on teams that are winning right now?
You know what? I have never done that, and then probably not, just because as a chef, I want to figure it out myself.
Gotcha. Robert McGee joining us here on the show. All right, brisket's 8th overall. How do you feel about the brisket? What changes do you think you might be making coming into this year?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're pretty excited going into this year with brisket. We went from slow cooks to fast cooks, and by the end of the year, we figured going back to slow cooks pulled a lot of more flavor out of the brisket. We're going to try some new injections going into this year. We got Cosmo Q backing us up for 2012, so we're going to inject with his injection. So we're pretty excited about it. I think our brisket's really going to pull through for us in 2012.
Robert, I don't remember in our past conversations if you had not been part of the clan that had gone into Wagyu beef, or if you had stayed, with the stuff that you're going to be getting at Sam's Club. What are you cooking these days?
I'm using primes. I got to be quite honest with you. The Wagyus are great. For everybody who cooks Wagyus, 2 thumbs up for you. But I can cook 3 of my briskets for the price of their 1. So I'll throw 3 in my smoker to figure out the 1 versus their 3 and take the other 3 back and use it at my hotel. So you figure it out.
All right, most memorable contest of 2011.
2011, it's got to be Las Vegas. To pull down Las Vegas out there and driving 22 hours back and 22 hours there and 22 hours back. And of course, seeing every Las Vegas show I could get in while I was there. To pull down that grand champion with some of the best barbecuers in the world was really exciting.
Robert McGee joining us here on the show. Robert, let me switch it up here a little bit. You're obviously very entrenched in KCBS and all the goings on. We have now right in the middle of KCBS voting for a new board of directors. I believe it ends in about 3 days. you're around a lot of pit masters. Do you guys actually get together and gals and really talk about things like transparency and inconsistent judging and technology and scoring systems, or is that more of a small vocal minority?
Well, there's no doubt about it. We sit there at contests and talk about it. Have not sat down with the board and actually gave my opinion on it, but I know they've got a lot of feedback on different directions going. Every year they need to improve. So I know they're doing the best they can.
Are you looking to endorse any particular candidate that you see running, or does it not really matter to you?
Well, there's a couple candidates I really like. I personally think Larry Hadley's a great candidate here in Kansas City. He's got my full support. We got some great candidates out there. So I think whoever ends up on the board is just going to be, just help us take us to the next level.
Do you think the existing board is doing good enough, or are there some items that you would like to see changed?
Yeah, you're throwing me into a hornet's nest, but I'm going to go ahead and field this one and throw myself out there. KCBS is a growing sport. I think everybody knows that we're on the tip of the iceberg to keep moving forward. We've got great endorsements coming. I'd really like for the board, to really pull together how can we make big strides to move this sport forward quicker and not try to hold it back. So I know they're trying really hard, but maybe we need to pull in other resources to figure it out, because I just think we're going to new heights with this sport, and I'm way on board. So I know it's happening right now.
Robert McGee joining us here on the show. Munchin Hogs at the Hilton is the name of the team, and they are now going to be the current 2011 KCBS Team of the Year. I noticed, Robert, that in order to take part in Sam's Club this year, and I apologize if this was the same thing last year and I'm just an idiot, but Sam's Club is requiring that every team that takes part in their events this year for 2012 has to be a KCBS member. Do you think that is a good idea for them to, I don't want to say force people to become KCBS members, or is that kind of like a number inflation type thing?
I don't know. To be quite honest, I'd be shocked if every person who did KCBS, every person who did Sam's was not a KCBS member. But for $35 a year, give me a break. Everybody chip in.
You love that whole thing with Sam's Club and the whole setup. That's one of the best things that's happened to Competition Barbecue, right?
I think they did a great job last year. I think they're doing process improvement moving this year. I think they did a really good job with their prize money going forward. I like the repositioning of regions. I don't have to go all the way down to Fort Worth for a regional. If I was lucky enough to get into one, I go to St. Louis. So I really think that they heard what all the cookers and everybody said and really pulled it together. I think Troy did a great job, and Sam's itself, and it's going to be a good year going forward with that organization.
All right, so as you're looking at 2012 coming upon us, you're going to be starting to compete. Are there any major changes that you're looking at through all of your categories that you are going to be making in order to give yourself perhaps even in a better position to win all these contests like you did last year?
Yeah, I think we're going to make some changes in chicken, and of course I told you I need to go back to school for pork, so I don't know if I got to research in books or just keep plugging at it every weekend, even though the snow's coming here in Kansas City. But we're feeling really good in 2012. We're sure not done practicing. We've got our first one coming up at Winter Q. We definitely want to go there, and they've got the World Brisket going on, and we're excited to be in that one. One day we'll win that, but just haven't figured out how to do it down there yet.
All right, so when is that first event going to be for you guys? Winter Q, you said?
I want to say it's the third week in February.
Oh,
don't quote me on it, but it's definitely in the KCBS events.
Is that the one down there in Kansas that I always hear Kelly Wirtz competing in all the time?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
That's right.
That's like Sue. You could be in the middle of a snowstorm cooking barbecue, right?
Sometimes I went down there and we did get a couple inches of snow, so I don't think that's going to hold us back. So we'll be ready to dig into that one again.
When you're in inclement weather, let's take the cold for whatever reason. Because in Cleveland, I mean, it's been unseasonably warm here in Cleveland, so I shouldn't even bother saying anything in order to jinx myself. But when you're facing adverse weather climates, is there an extra added pressure on you as a team to make sure that everything is performing right because now you're dealing with something that you might not normally have to?
You know, that's a great question. We deal with different climate, and my smoker, which is a Horizon smoker, which is a phenomenal smoker, but there's a couple of things that does affect that smoker. Wind for sure, to where if we need to put up a tent and block the wind from going into the firebox itself, that'll actually really slow up the process of cooking or distort the temperature. Of course, rain, we all know we got to deal with that, so that tent stays over that. You know, snow, we'll put a wool blanket over the top just to help that insulation on the top, but it sure doesn't need it on the firebox. So, you know, we've got to do all these certain things just to make sure that that smoker maintains the same temperature. Just as well as the summer, there's nothing on it. So, you know, you got to do certain things to make sure your smoker is performing at all times.
Right, he is Robert McGee, the pitmaster of Munchin Hogs at the Hilton. And as I said, I believe it's in a week or two, he's going to be out there getting official honors from KCBS for being the team of the year for this past year in 2011. So he will be your reigning team this year. Robert, always appreciate the time that you make for the show. Thanks for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks, Greg. It was a pleasure.
All right, you got it. There he is. Robert McGee, Munchin Hogs. Billy, reaction?
He's the man.
As someone who is a competitive cook like yourself, and I'm sitting here watching you as I'm asking questions, I mean, Billy's like totally reclined because he has to deal with my ridiculous setup. Anyway, when he said he did 35 competitions, you almost went ass over teacups on the back. I mean, that is a serious number of events.
Yeah, man, we did 18, and it wore my ass out, you know.
Could you imagine doing 17 more, and where would you fit them in?
Well, I wouldn't have a job for one thing, but even if I could, man, that's dedication.
I mean, you're
that's
on
getting after it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're on. You know, you do a number of events. You win events, whether it be categories, overalls. You get reserve grands, all that good stuff that everybody wants to get when they're in competition. But I totally forgot what I was going to say. I was leading up to something very stellar, and the apple pie is taking over my very brain.
Well, you know what? My hat's off to him. My do-rag's off to him for cooking that many.
When you see all of these teams that are out there doing 25 plus, are those the teams that every year are going to be the ones that are really vying for team of the year? I mean, it can't be the guy that's doing 5 or 10, right?
No, I think it is. I mean, the more you cook, the better you're going to get. The more chances you got to, what do they count, the top 10? So, the more you cook, you're gonna get to weed out some of those that you didn't do so good. So, I'm happy for him. I envy him for being able to cook that much.
Who are you voting for KCBS? Hold on, wait a second. Billy Carroll weighs in.
I don't discuss politics, Greg.
No. You're not Candy Weaver. You're not getting away with that. No. You're here. I could kidnap you.
I already voted.
Well, even all the more reason to come up and tell us who you voted for.
I can't.
Promote your pick.
The important thing is that you vote.
Whoever you voted for would be really appreciative of the free promotion.
It doesn't matter who you vote for as long as you vote.
All right. Well, that's a bunch of horse crap, and we all know it. People demand. Who did Billy vote for? We'll get to that here in the second hour. You can goddamn guarantee it. All right, Billy, I'm going to talk about a sponsor of the show right now that a lot of people wonder, why are they sponsoring the show?
I wonder.
It's a guy by the name of Steven DeFranco. You don't know who he is. He's not out there on the competition trail. He's not there making succulent sauces and rubs or injections or anything that somebody who would sponsor the show normally does. This is a guy based right here in beautiful Willoughby, Ohio, just east of downtown Cleveland. He is a premier retailer of high-end jewelry. Did you see that awesome watch that I was wearing a little earlier?
The Rolex or something like that?
No, it's an Accutron watch. Oh, okay. It's the high-end, high-end Bullivan. But here's a guy who is a barbecue guy at heart. He found me, sent me an email, fan of the show. Who are you? This is who I am. I'm like, oh my God. And then he came to me a year later and wanted to become a sponsor of the show. I said, got to be one of the worst ideas that I've ever heard in my life. You're a jewelry guy. What the hell are you doing? He's like, well, I think, because here's what I always say when I do the reads for Steven. And you can find him at StevenDeFranco.com. We always want to know that guy. You know, that guy that has the line on briskets, or that guy that makes the smoker, or that guy that has the wood pellets. Or in my case, Candy, that girl that makes the wood pellets. Well, here's a guy that does jewelry. We know a guy in the jewelry business.
He's the guy.
How about 30% off of list price? How about more than that? How about free shipping if you order something? If you do watches, how about free engraving on the back? How about free batteries for life? How about free gift wrapping, free polishing? If you live in Cleveland, he'll come and set the time for you, for crying out loud. Who doesn't want to take advantage of that? Maybe you've been bad to your significant other, wife, husband. Maybe you have a same-sex lover. Whatever the case may be, you now know somebody that is in the business. You can buy a watch and get a deal on it. You can do diamonds. You can do chains, sterling silver, gold, Venetian glass, whatever the case may be. Laugh all you want.
He's the guy.
He's the guy. StevenDeFranco.com, or you can go to the Barbecue Central Radio Network's homepage. Click on the Steven DeFranco banner. You'll peruse the inventory, and then just call into that 440 number that he has listed on the landing page. You'll see it's got a picture of himself with his Good One smoker making meatloaf, for crying out loud. So, I mean, he's a barbecue guy. Watches all the shows, loves the sauces. He's a wonderful human being. But more importantly than that,
he's the guy.
He's the guy.
What about watch?
Barbecue Central Radio Network's homepage, Steven DeFranco, StevenDeFranco.com. We're coming back with DoRag in 10.
We got to meet the guy.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rampy.
Big B, Moonshine Band, Suburban Waste Records. Let's go! I'm an outlaw. Give me 2 shots. We don't need a radio. Bring a jukebox for my outlaws. Bring me 3 shots. We can raise hell before the speed stops. I'm a whiskey drinking SOB. If you don't like that, then you won't like me. I'm an outlaw.
All right, we are back. DoRag is in the house. Apple pie is flowing. Hookers showing up at midnight. Wait, never mind. 877-448-0433. Greg at the BBQCentralShow.com are the 2 ways to get in touch with the show. And we are coming up with Scott Roberts in about 45 minutes from now. 14 past the hour of 10 o'clock. Scott is going to be reviewing the 2011 Best of Barbecue Sauce and Best of Rubs, as heard here on the show. Scott is a monthly contributor to the show and thought it would be a great idea if we brought him back on and he was able to kind of review, first of all, and then talk about all this great stuff that he has in regards to sauces and rubs. Scott is he's one of those guys that likes the hot sauce. Are you a hot sauce guy?
Yeah, I like hot sauce.
Where do you rate hot sauce like 1 to 10? You'll take it if it's on the table, or you look for it, you buy different kinds. Do you like the fact that, when you have a really good hot sauce, you're looking forward to the next day?
I got a few. I don't go out and buy, gallons of it, but
I am not looking ever forward to the next day. It could be the best tasting hot sauce ever. I'm immediately regretting the fact that I'm putting it down my gullet. Because ultimately, it's a pain.
It can be.
Oh, it is. No doubt about it. All right, Billy DoRag Carroll is in the house tonight. He is DoRag Barbecue, the pitmaster, right?
DoRag Q.
Look, pal, it's my show. Wait a second. We're renaming the team. DoRag Q. All right. I apologize. DoRag. Let me make a note of that here on the sheet.
Get it right, man.
Do you have a website?
I used to. I don't mess with it no more.
All right. Yeah, I mean, the internet is just a fad. Nobody's ever getting on that.
Yeah, who's got the
Absolutely.
time? You know?
Who would?
I'm
who
playing
cares?
Bejeweled on Facebook now. I got no time for that.
I don't even have any idea what that is. What is Bejeweled?
It's some game.
Is that a game where you go around with a machine and you put jewels on jeans and
No, that's the guy.
That's the guy.
The
All right.
guy.
All right, so here we go. Let's talk about a few different items with Billy DoRag Carroll since we have him for this segment.
Okay.
You're actually in regular. Okay, look at this. Don Geiger. Read the question that he just asked me.
Got to put my glasses on.
Are we not seeing the same thing?
I don't see it, man.
No?
My laptop's dying.
It's outrageous. I told you should have hooked up. Don G asking me if I'll ever compete. Why do I have to compete?
Yeah, why do you have to compete?
Don, beat it.
Get out of here, Don.
You're
Come on.
banned from the chat room. I don't understand. Why does it make any difference as a host of an award, as a host of a world, as the host of an internet-based radio show that talks about barbecue and grilling that was featured in the Washington Post today?
Yeah. I can answer that.
Does
I can answer.
me competing lend anything to the show?
There's those that cook and those that don't.
Let's clarify, because people are laughing because they think you just paid me a back underhand compliment. Did you say there's people that cook and there's people that can't, or people that don't?
Don't.
Right. I can cook,
Don't want to.
bitch. Look,
Hey, I saw what you posted the other day. That thing looked good. What was that?
that was bacon wrapped chicken breast
There you go.
painted with my own homemade barbecue sauce. I can
Awesome.
make my own homemade barbecue sauce. Is that good enough?
I think so.
I don't understand one bit on why. I can see. I've been to competition.
You have?
I went to the Oinktoberfest in Buffalo 3 years ago.
Okay.
Longer than that because I wasn't doing the show. And it's great to be around people that I've talked to. At that point, it was mostly around people that were on my barbecue forum, which you can go to at thebbqcentral.com. But it's kind of a meet and greet. You know, here's, for whatever reason, Billy has found himself in the armpit of the nation, better known as Cleveland. Let me back up. I'll write down this thought here.
Is there a point to this?
What are you doing here?
It's for work.
People want to know why you're in Cleveland. What have you done?
I'm here for business.
Is this like the halfway house?
My parole officer here.
You're going to have to go to Cleveland, Billy. Nothing's going.
Yeah, they send me to Cleveland.
Oh, my. So there's nothing that is going to happen for me if I get on a team or if I'm out there cooking that is going to add any value to the show.
Let it go, Greg. Don't worry about it. Move on.
Moving on. Billy, who did you vote for KCBS 2012?
Greg, let it go, man. Come on. You ain't getting that out of me.
What do you like about KCBS as a whole? We don't have to talk about the board. But what are you liking about KCBS? What would you like to see changed? Issues, concerns? I mean, you're somebody out there who's probably competing more than most, not as much as others. So you're right there in that main demographic of maybe 10 to 18 to 20 competitions a year on the high end. What do you like about KCBS? What don't you like?
Well, Greg, I'm going to be really honest with you here.
Because otherwise you wouldn't be?
No, I'm serious, man. You know what? If I felt strongly about any one thing, then I would be a hypocrite if I didn't get involved. And you know how I am. I don't get involved. I mean, it is what it is. I know what it is. I show up and I cook, and then I show up again. No one holds a gun to my head. And if I'm not willing to try to help make that change, then I don't feel like I have the right to bitch and moan about it. So I like what they've been doing since I've been involved since 2006. I've seen a lot of change. It's not perfect, but it's certainly better than it used to be. And I applaud the efforts of Sam's and that group and MMA and all the people that have been doing a lot of things to make competition barbecue better. Is it better for everybody? No. But you know what? you got to look at it as collective work, and I applaud them and I support them, but I'm not going to bitch about them because I'm not willing to put the effort in to change it.
So let's be clear here. What you're saying is, if you're going to sit there and bitch and you're not going to take an active role in potentially being a proactive change to the situation, shut up.
Get that freak stuff out of here.
So ask me something else. Move on.
I asked Robert McGee this question. I don't know if you were paying attention, but last segment we had Robert McGee munching hogs at the Hilton 2011 Team of the Year.
I listened to every word of that because I want to get some tips from that dude. He can cook.
You know what I like best about when I'm interviewing top pit masters of the industry?
Obviously, I'm not one of them, so I have no clue.
This is what I like. I ask a question, and their immediate answer is, you know what? That's a great question. That makes me feel good in the cockles of, actually the subcockle region of my heart. I love that.
I'll try to remember that.
It's just a little bit about me. I asked Robert McGee of Munchin' Hogs at Hilton this question. I'm going to ask you this question similarly. KCBS, and again, I don't recall if it was the same as last year, but you have to be, in order to take advantage of the Sam's Club event, you have to be a KCBS member in order to cook or potentially get the chance to cook. It's very hard to get in, 30 teams, whatever. Now, they've expanded regions. You could come and cook in where the hell is it? Canton, Ohio, if you wanted to. There's going to be an event here in Canton. Is it fair to require KCBS membership? Is this a way of bubbling up numbers?
Well, Greg, that is a ridiculous question.
Get that freak stuff out of here.
So we're both in agreement. It's ridiculous to make somebody be a member of a society that they might not otherwise want to be. Well, if I told you that you had to vote for president, but you had to be a Democrat or a Republican, it's the same thing.
I'm sorry, I disagree with you.
How?
I do. I mean, I'm a member of the KCBS.
All right.
The KCBS sanctions us.
Yes.
It sanctions our contest. Now, I know they got this deal about the not-for-profit, and that's why they can't require you to.
Correct.
But, hey, they're sanctioning us. We need to be a member of it. I raced NASCAR for several years. I had to join NASCAR to run in a sanctioned event. I think that's the way it ought to be. That's going to help them, get more members, get some more money flowing in. That's my opinion. Of course, I'm not willing to change it, so I'm going to shut the heck up.
Whoa, watch out! Uh-oh. I don't really have too big of a counterpoint to that. I got to be honest. I just feel that if that's going to be the way it is, there isn't a mandate in place now through KCBS that says if you're going to cook any other event that KCBS sanctions, that you have to be a KCBS member. I can go up to the barbecue event in Buffalo, pay my entry fee, it's KCBS sanctioned, and cook. And I don't have to be a member of KCBS. Nor is it like that anywhere else. So why be hypocritical to the only popular other tour thing that's going on aside from being Team of the Year? Why not make everybody join KCBS for every single event that they're doing?
I don't know, man. It's the man. They got us down.
Damn the man.
Damn the man.
Freak stuff out of here.
Do you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I kind of see your point.
I agree with you. I mean, like you said, if you're going to race NASCAR, if you're going to play Major League Baseball, you're going to be Major League Baseball Union. You're going to have to be a NASCAR guy. If you're going to fight mixed martial arts, you're going to be
you're going to
whatever that is. You're going to work for Dana White.
Dana White. I'd like to work for him.
But in every other instance for KCBS, you don't have to be a member. You can just pay your entry fee and walk in, and you're good.
Well, I'm a member. I'm a card-carrying member. I would, I'd join anyway, whether I'm required to or not, because I'm supporting what I like to do.
Yes, maybe we're opening up a floodgate here because I'm reading briefly the chat room here. If you're not aware, folks, if you're going to be cooking the KCBS Sam's Club Tour this year, or the Sam's Club event, you have to be a KCBS member. Now, I understand that it is a mere $35. And if you like competition barbecue and you're going to be supporting one of the biggest sanctioning bodies out there in the country, not one of the biggest sanctioning body out there in the country, $35 is probably a mere price to pay in order to be able to cook in this competition. However, it contradicts everything else that they're talking about. Nobody is a bigger contradictor of things than me. I have a freaking pellet cooker, for crying out loud. The man who was, this is barbecue and this isn't barbecue. It's not my place to say that I'm not allowed to contradict myself. I'm just saying if you're going to have to be a KCBS member to do the Sam's, then it should be Sam's then you should be a KCBS member to do every other thing, right? Of course. You don't have to say anything.
I don't know about the Sam's deal. I cooked it last year. I don't know. You know, I'm a member, so I don't know.
You made it through the first round too, right? Didn't you go to regionals?
Yeah, man. I got we were reserve in Birmingham, and so we came in second.
Right.
And then we came in second from last in Jackson. We got our ass kicked. You know, humble pie and all that. But hey, there were some good cooks in there.
Yeah, of course there are.
So, you know.
You move on through the regions, and I mean, I tell you who had a huge year was that Tippecanoe.
God, man.
I mean, second half of the year caught fire, racing through almost. If he would have gotten the Jack Daniels championship, it would have been like some type of a grand slam.
Yeah.
We would have had to have named it like the Tippecanoe Slam or something like that.
I think he should retire.
I think there's a good chance that maybe he would have retired. Probably not. He was a very young guy.
Yeah, he's a good cook.
Oh, absolutely. He's one of the top teams out there in the industry right now.
I've shigged off him a couple times.
Let me ask you something here in the last 50 seconds of this segment. If you had the same type of winning that Tippecanoe had at the second half of the year, would your first portion of business in 2012 be setting up the DoRag competition barbecue class and charging $650 a head?
Hell no. If I had that kind of success, I wouldn't want anybody to know what the heck I'm doing.
So you're not one of those people that is into giving up all of your trade secrets.
Dude, I got no secrets.
Do you find it crazy that there's some of the top pitmasters out there that are doing no holds barred classes right now?
No, I've been to some of them. I've paid good money to be at some of them.
Of course.
You know, what I pick up from them are their techniques. I mean, you know, but I'm not ready to give up anything, but then I got nothing to give up except my apple pie recipe.
Hey, well, let's take that and run with it. All right, Billy DoRag Carroll is in the house. We're talking about barbecue stuff. We're going to be coming back to wrap up the first hour here in just a second. People saying I froze up here. Let me take a quick look. Nah, still recording, that's all. It's good for me. Refresh the screen. Gang, let me tell you about the longest running sponsor of the show. They date back to when the show was just a podcast back in the day. The attached thing that I'm about to say comes straight from the heart. The Barbecue Guru is the longest running sponsor of the show, and let me tell you what they offer. Not only is it automatic temperature control devices and a really cool cooker called the Onyx Oven. We'll get to that here in a second. But this is another place that you can go on the internet, aside from getting those products, that you can get items like Wicked Good Charcoal, or Blues Hog sauces, or Head Country sauce. You can get the slabs or the Dizzy Pig rubs. And, of course, that Onyx Oven. Billy, have you ever seen the Onyx Oven?
I have not.
This is one of those cabinet-style cookers, but not nearly as big as a Stumps or a Spice Wine. Hugely insulated. This thing is more efficient than a Toyota Prius hybrid. Very efficient, right? So you're going to put a load of charcoal in there, and because it's made by the Barbecue Guru, a couple things come to mind. It's going to be quality workmanship.
Of course.
It's going to be research and development like crazy.
It is.
It's going to be portable, so if you are a competition cook and you're just a one-man band, because a lot of teams are there now, or they maybe only have one other helper. You want something you can load up in the car, you can unload it easily. The Onyx Oven can do that. But don't be fooled by the size. This is something that can house a lot of meat. So if you're going to be cooking all four categories, no problem. Maybe you're a hack like me in the backyard. You want to start doing parties around the neighborhood, or people smell what you're cooking, like The Rock, and they're like, hey, we want you to cook something for us. Well, now you have capacity in that cooker in order to do that, which is great.
Yeah.
Now, secondary to that, but probably more importantly, you can outfit anything made from the Barbecue Guru with what? Well, it's the automatic temperature control devices, right?
Of course.
Absolutely. Now, there's 4 different models to choose from. You have ProCom 4 wireless, So you can put this little device on your hip, and you can walk up to 600 feet away from your cooker. You can adjust it. You can see what the temperature readout is. It's phenomenal, especially for the guy that likes to roam around the neighborhood and look at the hot chicks. You also have the CyberQ 2. You have a DigiQ DX. And that new unit that was just introduced about 2.5 months ago, it's called the Party Q.
Nice.
Sounds great, right?
Yeah.
Great name. This is an all-encompassed singular piece of automatic temperature control technology. It runs off of AA batteries. It's got a digital readout. You can increase the temperature increments by 5 degrees. It's absolutely spectacular. You can find out all about it by going to bbqguru.com, or you can go online, check it out for yourself. bbqguru.com, or you can call toll-free and talk to Bob Trudnak if you want to. 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU. It's good folks over at the Barbecue Guru. We're wrapping up the first hour, looking ahead to Scott Roberts. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
Who would have thought this music thing was going to go this far? I never asked for this. I never asked for this fast living, the women, the whiskey, craziness. There's whiskey in my soul. Hey, Bert, let's go.
I've been drifting down that open highway, finger in the air, cause I do.
All right, wrapping it up here. DoRag is in. First hour, take thoughts, reviews.
I love what
feedback
with the green room. It's amazing.
What was your favorite part of the green room?
The green paint.
Hence the green room, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a better color green.
Well, we try and put a fresh coat of paint on it each and every year.
Amazing. Amazing studio. And you got the new exercise room over here. That's amazing.
Yeah, we have to make sure that, Beards for Barbecue, we want to stay fit. So we put the exercise room right in the studio. So if you were bored with the conversation, you could get right up, get a quick mile in.
I thought you were saying beers for barbecue.
No,
I've been drinking like crazy.
Negative. Beards for barbecue. All right. So let's quickly recap. We had Robert McGee from Munchin' Hogs at the Hilton on.
Awesome cook.
We talked about his win for 2011, how they geared up.
Team of the year.
Things that he'll be changing this year. If you cook pork well, evidently Robert is looking for a class or instruction.
I wonder if he'd take me as an apprentice.
Do you cook pork well?
No.
I'm going to go with a no. Well,
I'm a good social director.
Yes, but you do make great apple pie. Apple pie starting to catch up with the host at the moment. We are going to step away and reload for the second hour. We have Scott Roberts coming up at 14 past, and Billy DoRag Carroll is in. DoRag Q is the name of the team. And you are listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show right here in the Barbecue Central Radio Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Understand my intention.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan. So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
You could use it to fight off creeping marauders looking to take your steaks off your grills.
I just like being anywhere with Junior, Senior, and Diva.
Sounds like a whole other type of movie.
Wow. Yeah, really.
Keep it hot, keep it clean, keep it lubricated.
We have top men working on it right now. Ooh, top men.
We are back, second hour. DoRag, say hello.
What's the word, turd?
Well, we are doing the show here. DoRag was just saying that if he lived in Cleveland, it would be like what were the two people you said, Conan and Andy?
I would never live in Cleveland.
Me neither. It's
Hi, this is Scott Greenya from Fairfax, Vermont, also known as Scotty DQ.
Poor placed IDs.
The Barbecue Central Show.
That was supposed to happen before the intro to the second hour.
Hey, fire that engineer. Fire him. Just fire him right now.
Folks, show's over. Good night now.
Oh, not...
877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Those are the two ways to get in touch with the show. If you want to talk to DoRag, see what it's like, get his firsthand account, what it's like to be, and this guy is really on me, this Patrick. Yes, Patrick.
Patrick who?
Basic Patrick. He must be an engineer in real life. He is always on me for my engineering mix-up.
Okay.
I apologize that I am human. Give me a Uh-oh, wait, where'd it go? Give me a break. Gee Christ. All right, I'm not very good with the buttons today. So... here's the deal.
What's the deal?
We got Scott Roberts coming up in about 13 minutes from now. John Dawson wanted me to point out this, and this is a public service announcement. So let me see here. Public service announcements need their own music. Do I have any music? Oh, I do. All right. Public service announcement music. Like this song?
Anybody that dated Mary Jo Brooks, report to the clinic immediately.
All right, here's your public service announcement brought to you by the good folks over at the Barbecue Central Radio Show, DoRag and me. Look, if you're going to take part in this KCBS Sam's Club event, the KCBS is advertising that it takes 8 to 10 days lead time to become a new member. We trust to have served you with this information.
Won't they sign you up right there on the spot, though?
Evidently not.
I mean, I've been at Cook's meeting, and they say, hey, if you want to join, we'll join up.
Per one of the top men in the industry.
Oh, never. Top men.
Public service announcement for non-member potential Sam's cooks that KCBS advertises 8 to 10 days lead time for new members.
Okay.
Billy, point of clarification, true or false, I am wearing assless chaps right now.
I'm not looking, Greg.
Look.
No.
Patrick will never know.
Big step out of here.
Yeah.
Now.
You've embarrassed me now. And I don't embarrass easy. Jeez.
I've embarrassed you?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Look at this guy. Look at the do-rag this guy's got. Are you kidding me? That's not even his real hair.
Oh, what?
Is it?
Of course it is.
All right. Sorry. Never before has the camera went on so many expeditions outside of the Barbecue Central radio banner. All right, so we got Scott Roberts coming up in about 11 minutes from now. We do have some time with DoRag before we do that. Give us, for the people, there's a big, broad audience here on the show. A lot of people listen on their own convenience schedule, which is called podcasting. So do you have any type of basic information for the novice griller about cooking chicken or brisket or ribs or anything like that? What are some of the main points that you'd like to tell any novice cook that's looking to get some information?
Get a barbecue pit.
And then what?
Get some charcoal and make fire.
No gas?
Have fun. Figure it out.
So, yes, but Look, the internet is on, and there is information at our fingertips.
Oh, yeah.
So if I'm interviewing one of the top guys out there right now in the competition scene, he canceled, but Billy, you're sitting in, and I appreciate that.
He hung up a while ago.
Right. I mean, just basically backyard stuff. It doesn't have to be about competition, but what are some of the most crucial things that people need to take into account?
I think they need to learn to manage their pit. I think that's key one. Know your pit. If you know your pit, then you can figure out where your hot spots, your cold spots, etc. And then it's all about temperature. I used to burn everything and thought that was great. Char it, but you don't have to char everything. So just experiment. Don't be afraid to not cook it till it's charred.
What kind of a cooker are you cooking on right now?
What do we have? Oh, FEs, FE 100s.
Do you like the pellet style cooker?
Yeah, because we can set it and party our ass off the rest of the night.
Damn right. I got the pellet cooker going right now.
Yeah.
We're choking back apple pie like it's going out of style.
Yeah, we like to socialize. We have our fun. Sorry, man.
Are you ringing?
It's mine.
What the hell is going on? This is my show.
Big stuff out of here.
Attention, passengers, please put your cell phones on. Well, it is on vibrate, I guess.
Sorry. But we like to have our fun. We get out there and like to socialize. And, I don't hold it against anybody that does it old school and, has a stick burner. That's good for them. It's all about what makes you happy and you have a good time at it,
Have you ever found yourself being in a, let's say, precarious position because you've went too hard the night before and now it's game time on Saturday for turn-ins?
Early in my career, I did.
Hold on a second. Get that phone right up and put them right on the air right now.
No.
Come on.
No.
Don't these people know you're high profile?
It's probably my parole officer. Earlier when we first started getting into this, we thought you had to stay up all night and party like rock stars. And, we realized that, you can party. Now we just start like at noon on Friday and we go to bed like at 8:30, We still party like rock stars, but, you can still have a good time and not, not get wasted.
You're able to find that balance.
Yeah, it's all about balance, and it's all about what your agenda is. I don't have a restaurant. I'm not a caterer. I don't have any rubs. I don't have any sauces. I do that because I have a fun time doing it, and I like the people that I hang out with. And so I like to get there early enough where I can get my prep done, and then I like to socialize. A bunch of us run around together, Warren County pork choppers, long dogs, swigging pig. We plan a meal. On Friday night, we all get together. Everybody throws in. We have a good time. We party for a couple hours, and then everybody goes and does their thing. And usually they kick our ass, but that's okay. Because when we go home, we had a good time. So that's what we're about.
Do you have a group of sponsorship that your team has been able to secure?
Yeah, we've worked with a couple of years ago. We did the Early Times deal. They helped us a little bit last year. We got a couple of things in the works this year, but yeah, there's not too many people looking for a bunch of drunks. So except liquor companies, and
Early Times, right? It seems like a marriage made in heaven.
We've about exhausted their resources, but
are they giving you product, or are they just giving you cash, or both, or what?
Greg, I can't say that.
Sure you can. You're not under contract.
They gave us T-shirts.
Nobody comes to this show to become a tight-lipped little bitch. Spill it. The people, Centralites demand accountability and openness.
It's all about negotiation. We got some dollars. We got some products, some swag. We got some help.
I mean, it has to be in their benefit for you to just kind of have a little bit of everything around there, because there's probably not a lot of foot traffic in a lot of different KCBS events, but some of them, probably have some decent traffic going on.
Yeah, but make no mistake, just because they helped DoRag Q out doesn't mean that their sales went through the roof, let's be serious here.
Well, you never know.
But we have a good time.
All right, well, that's all that counts. As long as you're having a good time. Hey, Let bygones be bygones. However, the categories roll in. Look, I don't compete, so...
Yeah, you don't.
I envy you. I don't. You're right. All right, look, Billy DoRag Carroll is in the house from DoRag Q. We're going to be joined by Scott Roberts in about 5 minutes from now, or less. Let me quickly tell you about one of the newest sponsors to the show. His name is Dave Bosca, Butcher Barbecue. Never heard of him? Only one of the winningest teams out there in competition barbecue history as it relates to the very recent past. Dave finished third overall team of the year, just 2 places behind the guy that we just talked to, which was Robert Gee from Munchin' Hogs at the Hilton. Dave, well known for the premium pork injections, and more than that, the premium beef injections that he has been supplying to top teams out there on the competition circuit for years and years and years. Teams that have finally decided, you know, this is the year that I'm going to go from middle of the pack to looking down and thumbing my nose at the rest of the slackies. And I'm going to start by going to Butcher Barbecue, and that's why you should go ahead and run over to butcherbbq.com. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Billy, I don't compete. You already said I don't compete, right?
I said that.
That doesn't mean that I have to slack off on the quality, the succulence of my barbecue for my family or my neighbors, or maybe I'm catering and I want to turn out a great product. Just because I'm not competing doesn't mean I also want to make a great product. And Butcher Barbecue does not discriminate between the backyard hack like myself and a professional competition cook like you, Billy. We can both use it. We can both reap great rewards from it. Now, there's another product out there that I don't know if you're familiar with. It's called Grill. You ever heard of it?
No.
It's a revolutionary product. It's taking over the market right now. And basically what it does is this. It gives you that grilled flavor in any type of protein. It can be used on anything. But you don't have to put it on the grill. It's an injection. It's a marinade. Or if you're going to be throwing caution to the wind, it's both. You can marinate it first, and then you can take the injection. You can put it into a pork tenderloin or a chicken.
Very versatile.
Absolutely versatile. And it provides you, it gives you that nice moisture yield and that flavor. So look, if it's 50 degrees below zero, like it's going to be in 2 weeks here in Cleveland for the next 6 months, and I don't want to go freeze my balls off outside, I can use grill, cook it in the oven. Perhaps I've tricked a number of people, and they're like, wow, this tastes like he must have snuck outside and grilled this. You got to try it out. You go to butcherbbq.com. Of course, he's got the award-winning rubs. He's got the sauce, that Swiss competition barbecue sauce that I was actually drinking out of the bottle like 2 months ago. It was fabulous. And then, of course, the injections in this grill. You have to go out and do yourself a favor. Step your barbecue game up. ButcherBBQ.com, one of the top injectors, rub makers, sauce makers in the industry. We're coming back with Scott Roberts right after this.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back. We are coming up on 14 past the hour. DoRag is in the house.
What's up, baby?
Roberts is on the line, getting ready to come on. Before we do that, DoRag, you have some things that you need.
Well, I would like to say to my lovely wife, Kathy, that's at home minding the homestead.
Yes, minding the homestead.
Yes, that I appreciate her allowing me to roam the countryside and cook barbecue.
Hey. All I know is that woman has to be a saint to put up with the likes of you. Do you wear that do-rag around the house and then she takes it off and she's like, yeah!
You know, she was saying just the other day, isn't there some competition you can go to in like Russia or somewhere?
That is very supportive.
Very.
Whoa, watch out. Maybe it's all right. Look. Let's not waste another second. We're going right to the guy that matters the most. It's Scott Roberts from ScottRobertsWeb.com. Scott, you're on also with Billy DoRag Carroll. How are you, buddy?
Oh, doing fantastic. How you doing, Greg? And how you doing, Billy?
Hey, Scott, how you doing, man? I'm going to take some notes.
Oh, you do that. I have some recommendations tonight for everyone out there.
Ooh, recommendations for Scott Roberts. So this is going to be a very fun-filled segment. So we're looking forward to it. Scott, so the theme of the show, the theme of the segment is Scott Roberts' best of 2011 when it comes to sauce and rub. We have a top 5. And as normal, we'll go ahead and let you start going. And then once we get to, from 2 to 1, we'll play the drum roll and we'll unveil a winner. And again, I saw Shane Draper made a great post about people doing reviews and how it seems that there's a lot of people out there on the internet that have nothing bad to say about anything. Of course, Scott Roberts is not one of those people. He is a master when it comes to palate exquisition and reviewing, and that's why we always have Scott on, and we're going to be doing the 2011 top 5 in regards to sauce and rubs. Do you want to do sauce or rub first, Scott?
Let's do sauce. It's at the top of my list right here, so
sauce
we'll
first.
Just go down.
All right, let's go. We'll start with number 5.
Number 5 would be Russ and Frank's Fiery BBQ Sauce. Now, they do have an extra hot version. Opinion kind of detracts from the taste a little bit. I prefer the regular fiery barbecue sauce. It's if you like something rich, full of molasses flavor, yet it's still tomatoey. This is a great sauce. I would say the applications are pretty much endless. I know you mentioned just a few minutes ago about eating sauce with a spoon. I would say this would qualify.
Wow. This is something you can actually eat right out of the bottle, no problems.
Right out of the bottle, right out of the jar. I think it comes in the jar. But it's just a great product. Again, that's Russ and Frank's Fiery BBQ Sauce. RussandFranks.com.
RussandFranks.com. Okay. All right.
Okay, and then we go to number 4. Which belongs to, I think... I could definitely say that it is the most awarded hot sauce manufacturer in the country. Cajuns, I'm talking about here. I don't think I've ever tasted a weak product from.
Oh,
the one coming in.
Scott, let me interrupt here for a second because
okay, go ahead.
As someone, and I follow you. It's not just because you're on for the barbecue sauce, but I go and I read your blog, ScottRobertsWeb.com, which has a lot more hot sauce angle to it. And I don't think I have ever seen you pan a Cajuns product ever. I mean, this has to be one of the premier manufacturers of either hot sauce or barbecue sauce, regardless.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Those awards aren't, some awards are kind of thrown out there to people, but his awards are definitely well-deserved. Now, the one coming in at number 4, I have to say that 99% of the listeners probably can't eat this. And it's because it's Cajuns Trinidad Scorpion barbecue sauce.
Correct.
Now, it has an absolutely excellent taste. Rich. It's just full of body. Just a really terrific blend of sweetness, heartiness, a great tomatoey flavor, a little bit of vinegar on the back end. But after 2 bites, you'll definitely know why the Trinidad Scorpion is the hottest chili pepper in the world. And he does not skimp on heat. Now, even for me, this stuff was pretty damn hot. I would have to be in a particular mood to eat this. Let's say I would have a pulled pork sandwich.
Very depressed, maybe?
Something scalding hot. I would pour some of this on there. But as far as putting this on a whole slab of ribs, you're probably only going to be eating 3 ribs before it's too much for you.
So when you have a sauce like this, Scott, and I believe we've had this kind of a conversation before, when you have a sauce like that, even given the flavor notes and the flavor props that you have given it, because my mantra on hot sauce is there has to be some type of flavor. I just don't want to put something in my mouth short of me drinking gasoline and lighting a match on my tongue and having the same type of burning sensation. I mean, I want to have some type of flavor. Even if there's that much great flavor, you are still burning your tongue off after a couple bites, though, right?
Exactly. you're wanting something scalding hot, this is the way to go.
Who wants that?
There might be a few masochists out there. I don't know.
Name Scott Roberts from ScottRobertsWeb.com.
Yeah.
Why not? All right, so definitely probably a little too hot for the consuming mass public.
Yeah, but I do have to put that on a list. That's how good I thought it was. Okay. And number 3 is, another K. John's product. This will definitely appeal to the vast majority of the people out there. It is K. John's Select Grillin' Smoky Bourbon BBQ Sauce. I love a little bit of smoky flavor in barbecue sauce. I totally hate, just as you do, Greg, the nasty liquid smoke flavor.
Hate it.
Thankfully, this does not have any of that. It just a light smokiness. You taste enough of the bourbon, but it's not over. Base flavor is absolutely fantastic. This is a very thick sauce. It's very meaty. I mean, you can actually kind of taste some of the ingredients in there. It's not gritty, but occasionally there might be like a little piece of onion or something in there. But this is a very versatile all-purpose sauce. Just a tiny bit of heat on the back end, but will appeal to just about everyone out there. Great product. And again, that's K. John's Select Grillin' Smoky Bourbon BBQ Sauce. Now, this and the one I mentioned before can be found at kjohns.com.
All right, that was going to be my next question. All right, so number 2.
Number 2. This was almost going to be my number 1 for the year before the number 1 came along. I know Shane Draper is listening, and I'm sure he's excited. Draper's BBQ Smoking Sauce clocked in at number 2. What can I say about this that hasn't already been said? It's very rich. To me, it's complex. And I know before I said that it had a little bit of an exotic spice taste. Not exactly like a Caribbean jerk, a jerk seasoning style taste, but something slightly, I guess, related to. All excellent sauce. Highly recommend this. And you can find this one at drapersbbq.com.
Drapersbbq.com. All right, so here we go. Going from number 2, you can only go to number 1, and here's Scott's pick. Go ahead and reveal.
It is Rooftop Barbecue Sauce.
Wow, out of all of the barbecue sauces that Scott has tasted over the 2011, this one takes top honors.
Oh, yeah. It just, to me, this is one of the best barbecue sauces I've ever eaten. I would say top 5 overall, all time for me.
Ever.
It's that good. My boys love it. Kids will love it. Spouses will love it. Chili heads will love it. Just people who aren't into barbecue will love it, as well as barbecue aficionados will love it. It's just so good. It's sweet. It's got a little bit of spiciness on the back end, but not too much. But I think this just has one of the widest appeals of any barbecue sauce I've ever eaten.
All right, so there you go. We have in reverse order Russ and Frank's Fiery Barbecue Sauce, K. John's Trinidad and Scorpion Barbecue Sauce with an asterisk because that could leave your asshole in a pucker if you eat it. K. John's Select Grillin' Smoky Bourbon Barbecue. What are you laughing at, Billy? And Draper's Barbecue Sauce coming in number 2. Rooftop Barbecue Sauce coming in number 1. Those are your top 5 for the year, right, Scott?
Top 5 for the year. And the website address for Rooftop, it'd probably be better if you just Google it. But if you don't feel like Googling it, it's rooftopbarbecue.wordpress.com. So they have it up on their blog. Their the store link is on there. So
on the WordPress.
Definitely go get some of that.
All right, so we'll go ahead and transition over from the sauce now to the rub, one of my favorite items to put on any rub. To me is very personal, and of course it varies or has the propensity to vary greatly depending on the type of protein that you're using on it. And I think that's why there's such a diversity in the market. Billy, I mean, you can test there's just so many different rubs out there, right?
A lot of rubs.
Absolutely.
A lot of rubs.
All right, so top 5, and we'll start with number 5 here, Scott, to reveal.
Okay, number 5 would be Albuquerque BBQ seasoning. And that's spelled ALBU, then the name Kirk, KIRKY. This one is in my top 5, not because it's so much a great barbecue rub, putting on your proteins, but to me, it's just so versatile in the kitchen. I mean, put it on your vegetables, put it on your popcorn, put it on roasted potato, in just about every capacity, as well as being an all-around good barbecue rub. It has a little bit of sweetness to it, a great deal of savory flavors, saltiness, little garlicky. It just a terrific blend, and I highly recommend this one. And you can find this one at albuquerqueseasonings.com. And then number 4.
Now wait, Scott, hold on just 1 second.
Yes.
I love the Albuquerque barbecue seasoning. I've actually had chance or occasion to try that. And I'm going to go ahead and say that, and I don't know if you've tried this, but Albuquerque barbecue seasonings also has a sauce. And to me, as someone who gets sauce on a regular basis, this was one of my top favorite sauces in 2011 was the Albuquerque barbecue sauce, which I found to be, I can't explain it, but if I taste the sauce and I like it, just like with Dave's sauce when I was drinking it on air, this is a sauce that I can drink. I don't know if you had occasion to try it or not, but if you haven't, this is absolutely a very good sauce that goes on a lot of different proteins as well.
Okay, just real quick, do you think that it enhances the flavor of the sauce by having the seasoning on it, or have you not done a combination of it?
I think using both together does very well, yes.
Dovetail.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a roller coaster effect on the palate.
Okay, yeah, because one I'm going to mention here in a couple spots, I think definitely needs a sauce in order for it to work. But anyway, let's go ahead and go to number 4.
All right, number 4.
This will be Oak Ridge Competition Beef and Pork Rub. I love just about all of Oak Ridge Barbecue's products.
Me too.
I love their Santa Maria style
fabulous
seasoning.
Yep,
great stuff. This beef and pork rub to me is not extremely versatile. It's very highly specialized. To me, if you're putting a rub on beef, it needs to be more savory. If you're going to use it on pork, it needs to be a little bit more sweet. This kind of strikes a good balance between the two. But to me, it's not all that great on chicken or anything else. But so if you're going to go ahead and just, you're going to smoke up a brisket next weekend, slab of ribs, go ahead and give this a try. But for those, this is hard to beat. And you can find this at oakridgebbq.com.
All right, oakridgebbq.com. Number 3.
Now this as a rub by itself, I wouldn't consider this to, I guess, be worthy of being put on my top 5. But once you put the sauce with it, it definitely extenuates any positives that this has. And by doing so, it definitely does belong in this number 3 spot. And I'm talking about Draper's BBQ AP Rub, the all-purpose rub.
Woo! Show sponsor.
I know. A lot of people raved about this being all-purpose, put it on your popcorn, put it on this and that. I think it was a good rub, but to me, you definitely need the sauce in order to bring everything out in it. And once you do, I think that's a 1-2 combo that just will knock everyone out with its terrific flavor.
I don't want to be a poo-poo, but I think the sauce and the rub are one of the worst things ever on the face of the earth. I don't want to talk ill of a sponsor, but I completely disagree.
Oh, you do?
I'm just kidding. Now, look, I think now I will disagree with you just a little bit on the fact that when I made popcorn, that's one of the things I try rub on everything because it's such a blank canvas. A lot of people like to use chicken. I like to use popcorn because it's kind of hot. It'll allow the rub to melt just a little bit. And my kids absolutely ate the ass end out of a bag of popcorn with with the Draper's barbecue rub. It's one of my favorite nighttime snacks. It's fabulous. That's just me.
Yeah, well, I think it's good. I just think it really needs a sauce to bring out everything.
All right, number 2.
If you do have the sauce, then boom.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. DrapersBBQ.com is the place to find that, obviously.
Exactly.
Okay. Number 2.
Number 2 would be Butcher BBQ Honey Rub.
Yeah, sponsor.
Nice.
They're bringing it
Another
strong,
sponsor
right?
on
They're bringing it
this-
strong.
Yeah, I don't get paid for it, unfortunately. This is just my honest opinion here. But this I is unbeatable on all types of pork.
Yeah.
I just, like I said a few minutes ago, I love sweet stuff on pork. You put this on a slab of ribs. You let it caramelize. You let the bark develop. And that whole outer layer is like meat candy. It has a nice natural honey flavor, but it's not all sweetness either. I mean, you get a little bit of saltiness, a little bit of garlic in it, and it's absolutely fantastic. I think this was one of the few of the what's the highest? 5 out of 5. It would be the Grand Champion,
Right, Grand Champion, right?
That I gave this past.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. All right, so we
So
go
this one,
from
highly recommended.
highly recommended. ButcherBBQ.com is the website, of course.
Yes. Okay, and then I guess the drum roll.
All right, here we go. So to unveil number 1, Butcher Barbecue runner-up, and number 1 is
Fat Kid Sauces BBQ Goodness Rub.
Sorry.
And,
No. It's hold on. It's Butcher Barbecues. Now stop it. That's end of interview. He's the sponsor of the show, for crying out. All right, go ahead, Scott.
This is a hot sauce manufacturer who makes some of the best sauce out there. But just kind of out of nowhere, it was a couple of years ago, he came up with this really mild barbecue rub. I wasn't able to taste it until this year. But once I did, I tried out some grilled wings, and I had actually used it in concert with some buffalo sauce, too. And I honestly have to tell you, this is probably one of the among the 10 best things I've ever eaten.
Fat Kids sauces.
Fat Kids sauces, yeah. This rub is perfect for everything. It's the perfect seasoning. Hell, put it in chili. Try it on popcorn. If you love the Drapers, you might even love this better.
Does it taste like cake? Because I love it like a fat kid loves cake.
Barbecue cake, I guess.
All right.
But it's good on just about every type of protein, fish, chicken, pork, beef, you name it. It goes good on everything. It just, I can't say enough about this product. Just top notch all the way.
Where do you get it?
And you can find at fatkidsauces.com.
Fatkidsauces.com. All right, so there we go. Number 1 in barbecue rub, Fat Kid Sauces Barbecue Goodness Rub. Number 1 in sauce, Rooftop Barbecue Sauce. All right. Was there something else that you said you were going to be promoting tonight, Scott?
Actually, no. As usual, just go to my website, scottrobertsweb.com, and I'm doing all kinds of things there. I had actually put up a nice long video of all of my favorite products. I didn't give a top 5. It was just the number ones in specific categories.
Okay.
You know, sweet and spicy, all around hot sauce. So if you want to know my opinions on those types of things, just go to my website, scroll down a little bit on the homepage, and you'll see that video there.
Do you have anything new that you're going to be trying out that we should be on the lookout for?
All kinds of spicy products, sweet stuff. I have a bunch of jams and jellies I'm going to try. There's just the usual barbecue sauces and seasonings. I'm going to try and get a little bit more of those.
Let's get a little buffer in there, so when we have you on next month, you'll have a great.
Yeah. It's not.
You have a great thing to choose.
Not everything, scalds your tongue. So
that's right, but except the number 4 sauce was definitely something that you're going to be in trouble for.
Yeah.
All right.
But if you're in a mood for something hot, yeah, definitely try that one.
All right. Well, we'll keep that in mind. He is Scott Roberts from ScottRobertsWeb.com, doing his best of 2011 for sauces and rub. Scott, always appreciate the time. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Greg.
There he is.
See ya. That man knows his sauce,
Yeah, I mean, nothing better than the man knowing his way around sauce.
I love to get sauced.
Are you going to eat the Trinidad Scorpion barbecue sauce? Does that scare the shit right out of you?
No way I'm eating that, man.
That's hot.
It's hot.
If a professed chili head says he can get through about 3 bites before he's feeling heat, what is that, half a chew for me?
Is that what happened to your chaps, man?
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what happened. I didn't think you were going to put two and two together. Joke's on me.
I was born at night, but not last night.
That's right. All right. Billy DoRag Carroll is in the house. DoRag Q is his team name. I am your program host, Greg Rempe, 877-448-0433. If you want to say hi to Billy, or you can email the show, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com. Billy, you going to be doing the Benton, Kentucky competition this year?
I don't know, man. I haven't checked with my management team to determine our schedule.
All right, to be determined later, but before we get into any more of that, Billy, let's talk about a guy on the internet who is a trusted retailer. Look, you can go on the internet, you can continually try and find the best price on this cooker or that cooker or these wood chunks or those wood chunks. And sometimes you find a price that is unbelievable. Well, or is too good to believe. What have you heard? Words of wisdom when things are too good to believe.
You talking to me?
Yes. Well, you know, if it's too good to be true,
it's too good to be true.
Exactly. That's why when you put in those orders for the $75 Weber Smoky Mountain cooker online, well, you're never going to see it. Either because the company took your money in there or they are heading for the hills.
I know. I ordered two of them.
Exactly.
2 different times.
Perfect example. Or they're a reputable company. They just haven't found it for $30 so they can mark it up to make their money and then sell it to you.
They say they're back ordered.
Look, that's why, exactly. Yeah. That's why you have to deal with Fred's Music and Tasty Licks Barbecue Supply, which you can find at tastylicksbbq.com. Located in beautiful, perhaps tropical, Shillington, Pennsylvania. Right in the heart of the armpit. But look, Fred has everything in stock. His brick and mortar place is revered worldwide because when you order it, he goes to pick it, ships it to you promptly. The price is fair.
Fair.
But you're going to get it. And let me tell you something else. Nothing worse than thinking you're Mr. Know-It-All. You put in your order, and now you get it. Well, guess what? Joke's on you. You don't know how to use it. What's most important? Customer support after the fact.
Order, I'll plug it in, man.
Exactly. You can email Fred, you can call Fred, or talk to any one of the other knowledgeable sales staff there after you buy it, and they will help you use it effectively and efficiently. Support after the fact is nothing better than that. You can get cookers and grills and smokers and cookbooks and wood chips and wood chunks and injections. You can get Forno grills for Italian pizza ovens. You can get semolina flour. You can get this other flour that I had no idea what the hell he was talking about, but it sounded very expensive. Fred has it all. TastyLicksBBQ.com. That's TastyLicksBBQ.com. Be sure to try their injections, rubs, and sauces as well. Fred Bernardo, longtime sponsor of the show, and that's why you got to go check them out when you're looking to get any of those products. TastyLicksBBQ.com. We're coming back with DoRag right after this. Stick around.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
Almost 20 till the top of the hour, 38 minutes past the hour of 10 o'clock, and DoRag is in. DoRag Q, Pitmaster, 877-448-0433, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com.
Call in now.
Call in now. Maybe you would like to ask, let me turn my phone around here.
You have a big phone.
Yeah, better known as a computer. Yeah.
Is that one of them internet things?
Yeah. Get the internet. Full porno, I'm telling you. You got to get on Google porno and you'll get pages and pages and pages of returns.
I just bejeweled.
Look, I'm going to make a statement here. Who would have thought with the proliferation, this is the last time you're coming in studio because I can't laugh. Who would have thought with the proliferation of the internet?
It's live.
And it came over, like when I was graduating college in 97, is like when it really hit. Email was out, the internet, Playboy was on there, and it was like, man, it is going to be outrageous what is going to happen with this thing. It's going to take off like wildfire. This is not a fad, folks. This is here to stay. You fast forward 10 years and then another 4, that sounds like 11 years. who would have thought that one of the only things that you can still get for free, which I thought would be locked down 100% on the internet, porno.
Get that big stuff out of here.
You can get porn for free all over the internet. Billion-dollar industry.
I got dial-up.
It doesn't matter. It just takes longer for it to load in. You got to look at pictures. I can look at movies on the high speed. I had no idea, all the way thinking back then, it's only a matter of time before all the porno is locked down. You're going to have to pay membership fees or one-time viewing charges or whatever the case may be. It is running amok, free porno for everybody on the internet. I can't believe it. I could make this show pay-per-view every Tuesday night. And what would you choose, this show or porno? You choose porno because it's free. Of course. And also there's hot chicks.
Where?
Well, on porno.
No.
Of course. All right, Billy DoRag Carroll is in.
I'm in.
Let me ask you this. Patrick, thank you. Patrick would pay for this show. So we would have one viewer every week. Everybody else is watching free porn. There seems to be a delineation of the amount of teams that are out there doing 25-plus contests. Top teams in the industry, let's say, are doing just as many as Robert was, maybe even a little bit more. So let's say let's go 30-plus competitions a year. The majority of people, and Neil Straughter, tell me if I'm wrong, the majority of teams out there are not doing 30-plus competitions a year. If you think about how many weeks are in a year, which is 78, 52, that is more than half of the calendar year. You can't... Folks, we're downgrading fast.
Get that big stuff out of here.
My co-host
What's your point, Greg?
Here's the point. I'm going to make it right here. Should there be a major league division of barbecue? If there's teams that are out there cooking 30-plus events and the majority of people aren't going to do that, how can you compete against teams that are doing it that much more than you? Is it fair?
I don't know.
Of course you know. You're there doing it. You had to have thought about, well, when Mike Davis pulls up, or when Robert McGee pulls up, or when a Rod Gray pulls up, or when Mike Wozniak pulls. These are teams that are doing it almost every weekend during the course of a calendar year.
Yeah, but they don't win every one of them. Hey, I beat some of them. Most of the time they beat me, but that's okay. But, I don't know, man. I envy those guys that can cook that much.
You don't feel at any type of disadvantage, or the fact that they're able to cook that many more than you are, that they should be sectioned off on their own?
Hey, if they're the best, I want to get beat by the best. Or maybe I want to beat them, No.
Well, of course you do want to beat them.
Sure I do. That's why we do this. And to have a good time.
That's right. How many competition cooking classes have you ever taken, or none?
3, 4.
Do you get anything out of them?
Yeah, I've gotten some out of almost every one of them.
Do you think they're overpriced? I mean, like
everything's overpriced,
yeah,
maybe.
Of course. But I mean, if you went to Myron Mixon's class, you're paying $750 to go and take notes and watch what he does.
I haven't taken his.
You go to a Rod Gray's class when he was doing it with Johnny Trigg, old school versus high tech. You're paying $500. Is this a mere nominal fee for what you're going to be able to gain over the course of that weekend and then reapply? Are there teams that you think are just copying what they learned in order to try and recoup cost? Competitions are expensive, true or false?
True.
So you want to win money to recoup the loss, or no?
Or buy more beer.
But you want to recoup some type of loss.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the deal. You can go to a class and you can make the best notes, and you can copy everything they do and get all their recipes and even buy the same kind of smoker. You still got to put it all together, brother. You still got to cook. And you know what? I've got all those notes. I bought all those things, and I go home, and I still can't cook as good as some of those guys. You still got to put it all together at the end of the day. Now, did I gain something from that? almost every class I've ever gone to, I've gained some techniques. I've learned something that's helped me. And in some cases, it's helped me place in the money more. So was it a good investment? Sure. Did I learn something? Sure. Do I use some of that stuff? Now and again, I do. I don't know that I use anything, from my first class, but maybe I do. I don't know. But, it's all about how fast do you want to get around the curve. Because that's what it is. I mean, if you're a new guy or you want to get on that fast track to winning, you're going to go take, if Robert had a class, you probably go take Robert's class, the team of the year. But you still got to put it all together and make it happen.
So that being said, you think if you're taking a class, your ability to get around the ramp and learning curve is going to be quicker if you do that?
In some cases it is. In some cases it's not. I mean, it depends on what you learn. And some of it's going to be technique. Some of it's going to be flavor profile. It just depends. But, I encourage people to take class. If there's people out there want to tell you what they're doing, I'm interested. I like to know. I need a better way of doing something. I sure ain't winning every weekend.
So let's talk about that for a second. Maybe there's a lot of people that might be listening to this a week from now or 2 weeks from now. Maybe they're thinking about forming a team and getting into this competition circuit. On the average, as a team, when you go travel somewhere, just kind of give me some general numbers. What kind of an investment money-wise are you looking at going to a competition?
You mean just for a comp, not including my initial investment in smoker and truck and trailer and all that?
Correct. I mean, there's obviously going to be that kind of upfront cost, but just weekend-to-weekend basis, what kind of a cost?
You got to buy your supplies, your meat, your beer, gas, beer, ice, beer. You get the idea.
Correct.
$750 easy.
A weekend?
Yeah.
All right, and you do that 18 times during the course of a year. So you're in, let's see, hold on one second, 750, 18. So you're in roughly $1.35 million for those 18 events. Very expensive, right?
I hope my wife's not listening.
I mean, I could sit here and say, well, on any given weekend, I could take that $750 and throw one of the biggest blowouts this neighborhood has ever seen.
Yeah, you could.
So why not do that?
There's guys out there that got, $35,000, $40,000 bass boats and, $200 fishing rigs. And, it's all about what makes you happy and why you do it. Why do you do what you do? Because it makes you happy. It really doesn't matter most of the time what it costs. If you have a good time doing it, you're going to do it. You're going to find a way. Like that race car driver that he can't pay his trailer rent, but by God, he can buy him some new tires. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's using the trailer rent money to go do that, but you know what? It makes him happy. He figures it out. But it's to me, it's not about the money. Sure, I like to get a check at the end of the day, just like everybody else. But do I not do one next week because I didn't place? No, I got a good job. I travel. That's why I'm up here. Make more money. I'm up here learning stuff so I can go back to work and say, hey, I learned something new. Pay me more money. And they say, get out of here. You go back to your office.
Pay you nothing. You like it.
You're lucky you have a job.
What is, when you're out, so let's say you're going to do 18 events during the course of the season. Would it be it's going to be successful regardless from what it sounds like. I mean, you're getting out there, you're having fun, you're meeting people, having some pops, doing whatever the case may be. But when you're looking at it from a competition perspective, would it be a successful year if you're just able to go above and beyond what you did the following year? Are you looking to break even money-wise? Is that even possible? Are you looking to put money in the bank for the following year? What do you guys constitute as a successful competition season?
Hopefully no one got killed or injured.
Number one.
Usually good.
Right. And, good to be alive, as we always say on the show.
I mean, we like to get our name called, just like everybody else. We didn't have a great year this year. We got a couple of reserves. We got a couple of categories. If you look at the year before that, we had quite a few more than we did last year. But, I was pretty happy with what we did. Richard, my cooking partner, and I, we come up with some new ideas, and we put them to the test. And, at the end of the day, if you put out a good product and you know it's the same product that you put out last week and the week before and the week before, and one week you do really good, the next week you don't. Well, it's all about somebody's opinion. That's the rules of the game. You accept them or you go home and do something else. Go to fishing tournament or whatever. So yeah, that's my take on it. Now, that doesn't mean that it's everybody's take. There's obviously some people out there that are very serious about this and have some other interest that may enter into it, whether it be catering, a restaurant, whatever. That's good for them. Whatever makes them happy and is their goals, more power to them. I don't necessarily see it the same way, but do you have a good time? Do you get some enjoyment out of it? Do you meet some new people? Do you spend some time with the people that you care about and you get to know? That's why I do it. I don't do it for the money.
That's right. Billy DoRag Carroll joining us here on the show. All right, so let me ask you this, and I did proposition this to Robert McGee when he was on. I asked him about flavor profiles and, where is he seeing it fit in right now? You're not necessarily cooking in the same particular regions of the country. You're a Tennessee guy, right?
I am.
So you'll get down maybe more in the southeast portion of the country. Mm-hmm. Where are you seeing flavor profiles on right now?
Well, obviously, I hadn't seen them too good last year. They've changed a little bit. A couple of years ago, it was all sweet and heat. It's changed a little bit last year. We didn't figure it out. We're still chasing it. But I think from what I'm hearing out there is that, they're not as into the sweet stuff anymore. Where is it? I don't know. I'm still chasing that. But maybe the savory. Maybe I think people still like some spice in there. It definitely changes. But sometimes it comes back around too,
Is it an issue of if you are in Tennessee, it's going to be one way. If you're in Alabama, it's going to be one way. If you're in doing an FBA event, flavor profiles are going to be different, or does it not vary that much depending on what section of the country you're in?
Well, Greg, that's an excellent question.
Thank you. Yes.
I don't. We cook a lot in the South. We've cooked a couple of times in Arkansas and up in Kentucky and Indiana, but I don't know. I don't cook enough in those other areas to know that that flavor profile does or doesn't work in a certain area. We're lucky in that in Tennessee and Nashville, we can go 200 and 300 miles at the most and hit most of our contests. So we don't really get out of our region a whole lot,
One of the most important things a team can do is pick out a cooker. So when we come back from this quick break, we're going to talk about, to wrap up the show, items that you want to take into account when you're looking at a cooker. You're obviously using the FEs. Mm-hmm. Other teams use stick burners. Other teams use other cookers. So we'll get into that here in a second as we close out the show.
Great.
But quickly, let me tell you about who are you using for your pellet supplier?
Barbecue Delight.
Oh, whoa, wait a second. Wrong one. That's the one we want right there. When you play the sound effects and you don't look, things can happen. Candy Weaver is the newest sponsor of the show. She makes these wood pellets. You use them in pellet cookers?
Yes.
Last week, I came out to the listening public and told them that I was a walking contradiction, that I had gotten my hands on a pellet cooker, and quite frankly, it's hard not to love. They're easy. Thermostatic controls are a wonderment. But look, if you are going to go down the road of a pellet cooker, regardless of what manufacturer you get, there's Traeger's, there's Max, there's Louisiana Grills, there's Green Mountain Grills, there's FEC cookers, there's Gorilla Grills. They're all over now. Traeger lost that patent on the auger and all hell broke loose, and now all of a sudden, and 99% of them are located up like in Oregon somewhere. I have no idea what the hell that's all about. You want to get a fuel, as in wood pellets, that you're going to be able to use consistently. They are top grade. You're not falling for this hokey malokey about all 100% wood. We talked with Candy Weaver at length on the third segment of the show last week, and she said, look, I could give you 100% applewood pellets. But when it comes right down to it, apple doesn't have the BTU that some of the other woods have. That's why with Barbecuer's Delight, it's 2/3 oak, it's 1/3 flavor wood, whether it be the apple, whether it be the hickory, whether it be the yolk, whatever the case may be. You have the blend to allow BTUs, but then allow that flavor to come through. They're shipped promptly, they're fairly priced, and quite honestly, if you talk to anybody that's using pellets, they're considered to be widely the pellet to go to on the competition circuit, but also in the backyard. You can find them in a number of specialty stores. You can find them in 1 pound bag, 20-pound bags. Whatever the size you need, Candy's going to be able to hook you up. And again, they're all done naturally. Plus, she's got some outside-the-box flavor. She's got the wine-infused oak. She's got that sassafras. She's got the herb and savory pellet, which is like great if you smoke meatloaf. It's absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, all the traditional stuff that you know about. So you go and visit this website, BBQRS, BBQers, BBQRSDelight.com. That's BBQRSDelight.com. Place your order in the comment section. Tell her you heard her on the show, or make a call in. Make your order that way. Tell her you heard her on the show. Let her know that what she is doing here is working for her. Always ask that you give first consideration to any show sponsor before you actually go out and make that purchase. And Candy is just a part of that sponsorship team. Barbecuer's Delight, the wood pellet to use in your wood-fired cookers. And that by, of course, the pellet-fired cookers. BBQRSDelight.com. We will wrap it up with Billy DoRag Carroll right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
We are back. 4 minutes till the top of the hour, 56 past the hour of 10 o'clock, and DoRag is in. All right, Billy, if you can answer this question fairly succinctly. When somebody is going out to buy a cooker for competition, just your 2 cents, you've seen them all out there. How do you recommend somebody going out to outfit themselves with that initial competition cooker?
Well, I would assume that they'd do a little research and, head out to some of the competitions and talk to some cooks. And, guys come around and ask us about our FEs, and we gladly show them how they work and what we think of them. And if a guy's looking for one, I think that's the first place he needs to start. Go and see what's out there and ask somebody how they work for him. And then you got to, some other consideration, stick burner, other. What do you want to do? Do you want to sit and babysit one? You want to do, you want to set it and forget it? Do you want to, green egg? There's all kinds out there. It's whatever fits in your environment, in your trailer, in your truck, in your mode of transportation. You got to think about all that kind of stuff. How you going to load it? Can you load it by yourself? Does it hold all your meat? Do you need 2 smokers? There's a multitude of things to think about.
Do you have to consider price as being one of the top things to consider, or should that be?
Yeah.
Obviously price is important, but considering everything else.
Yeah, you're not paying me to do this, so I got to consider price, But sure, you can only get what you can afford to get, That has a lot to do with it. That's probably why I don't have one of those expensive stick burners. It's a chunk of change. They're great cookers, but I can't afford one right now unless they got a layaway plan or something. I don't think they do.
Not that I'm aware of.
So, hoping maybe they'd front one to me and need some R&D done on it, but apparently they don't. But yeah, I would have one if I could afford one, but I can't.
All right, what are you going to be gearing up for in 2012? Give us some insight to DoRag Q.
We our last contest was Cumming, Georgia, the week before Thanksgiving. We haven't done a whole lot since then. We've holidays and whatnot. We hadn't really thought about it. We could go throw in for another 12, 14, 18 contests like we usually do. We might cut back a little bit. I really don't know. We knew that we were going to get through the holidays, and I knew I was coming up here for work, and we thought, well, about February we'll kind of figure it out. And that's kind of where we are. We got a couple of things working financially. If they come through, we might be out there a little bit more. If they don't, then, funny thing, I got too many hobbies. there's too many things that I like doing. And, this last month or two that I've been at home every weekend and enjoying, being around the house. And I ride a bike, a Harley. I got restore mini bikes. And I do all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I forgot how much fun that was. But I still love barbecue. When I'll do it until it's not fun anymore. It's still fun. I still have a good time. So we'll be back out there. I just don't know exactly what we're going to do yet.
All right. He is Billy DoRag Carroll, sitting in live again for the second time, pitmaster of DoRag Q. Billy, I appreciate you coming in from the west side of Cleveland. You don't have any idea what the east and west side divide is all about, and that's something I could bore you with off
West
air.
side, baby.
That's right. Well, not over in this
no, east side.
Not up in here. This is east side.
I'm from the south side, brother.
That's all right. South side is different. So appreciate you coming in. And again, next time you're in town,
I'll be here.
Open door policy whenever you're in. You want to roll in for the show, you're more than welcome.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
All right, absolutely. My pleasure. And that is not going to be what I want to have play.
Hey, this is Helen Paradise from SoCal, and you are listening
Son of a
to the
bitch.
Central Show.
Fire him.
All right, there we go. All right, here we go. That's what I wanted. Here we go. Crowd. DoRag was a success, of course. He's reading it all on the internet. You're not fooling him. Absolutely not.
I got dial-up.
You got dial-up?
I do.
You'll see it tomorrow. All right, let's briefly recap what happened on the show tonight. We had Robert McGee from Munchin' Hogs at the Hilton talking about being crowned 2011 Team of the Year.
Team of the Year.
Best years any team has absolutely ever had. Kind of almost ran away and hid with it for a while, and then Swine Assassins had a great end of the year as well, and they finished in second. Dave Bosca, third overall in KCBS Team of the Year. We also had Scott Roberts on at 10:14 this evening talking about his 2011 Best Sauce, Best Rub. So if you missed that, if you've tuned in late, you go back and get the archives. They'll be up at some point tomorrow. And, of course, we had Billy DoRag Carroll in for the entire show, sitting in and kind of jumping in where he saw fit. Look, let me help you to control the rusty grill grate population. If you have raw cast iron, you've used it, you've cleaned it off, now it's starting to cool down. Hit that with a little pan, a little Crisco, let it burn back in as it cools down. You're seasoning the grate. It's going to give you years of trouble-free service. The last thing you want to get on raw cast iron is rust. It will spread like the plague. Soon enough, you're replacing it at cost to you. So, always re-season after each and every use. Also, September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Till we see you next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am your program host and proud U.S. American Greg Rempe for Billy DoRag Carroll. Good night now.